This time, chef and farmer Paul West explores the wild Furneaux Islands in Bass Strait.
There are over 50 islands in the Furneaux group, dotted around Bass Strait. Sculpted by the sea, they boast towering mountains of granite and deserted beaches, dense bushland and turquoise water. They're also teeming with wildlife.
You can't help but be blown away by the sheer beauty of this place. But it also seems like a really hard place to live. I want to find out what it takes to call this wild paradise home.
The locals have told me that to survive down here, you need to rely on your neighbours. However, I'm on my way to meet an exception to that rule. I've heard about a man who lives in a very remote corner of the island. He's Flinders Island's very own Robinson Crusoe.
Oh, g'day, Paul.
Oh, nice spot, mate.
Did you have a good drive in?
I found it eventually. It's you're a fair way out here, mate. Look at this place. Did you build everything here yourself?
Yes.
Look at this. So is a lot of this stuff driftwood off the beach?
Yeah.
And what other materials have you used in there? There's a bit of everything really in there.
Well, a lot comes from the tip,
Right.
which is everybody's gold mine, I think.
This place is like a driftwood kingdom, a labyrinth of colour and light.
These buildings are incredible, aren't they? Oh, yeah. This is a great room, Arnie.
Arnie tells me he's originally from Sweden, and that's got me thinking, how did he end up here on the other side of the world?
Well, I didn't want to become a slave, so I ran off to sea when I was 16. An uncle got me an apprenticeship on a big tanker.
And in living a lifestyle like this, I mean, some of the other people on the island might call you a hermit or a loner. How would you describe yourself?
Well, that's probably correct. Yeah. And a hopeless dreamer.
There's something about this isolated place which seems to attract real characters, people who want to live unorthodox lives. But beyond the plentiful sea and the rugged charm of these islands lies a bloody and violent history. It began with the invasion of European sealers in the late 18th century. Some of these sealers, known as straitsmen, kidnapped Aboriginal women for their wives. Vicky Green is an Aboriginal elder and a direct descendant of these communities.
I'm 6 generations from Manalaginna. He was the leader of the Northeast people, a great warrior and a medicine man. He's buried at Wabalena, died here as part of the forced exodus from Tasmania. And that was deemed to be the last of the Tasmanian Aborigines, with the exception of Truganini. Of course, that wasn't so. There were several of our women living with sealers on Cape Barren and on the outer islands around Flinders Island. And they eventually became a community, and it is through those women that our society survives now.
These islands are a place of great contrast. On one hand, you've got incredible natural beauty, but on the other, they're a place of great sadness. Against all the odds, the Aboriginal communities of the Furneaux Islands have endured. It really is an amazing story of survival.
The original people that settled would have been the sealers that came out in the early 1800s, and they obtained Aboriginal wives, and from there the descendants were called the Straits people of basically Bass Strait.
Would you describe yourself as a Straits person?
I was born here, so I'm a Straits person.
What characteristics define a Straits person?
Sometimes it's a good sense of humour. So I know most of the rocks around the place because I've hit most of them.
Not today, though.
Not today.
Chris Rhodes, or Rockjaw as he is known, navigates these treacherous seas with ease. His family have been here for generations making a living from the sea. Today, he runs fishing and hunting tours on the island.
Here we go. What do we got? Oh, look at that. Nice little salmon. Oh, what a rookie mistake.
I've got my lunch, Paul. Where's yours?
Rockjaw is taking me to my next destination, Cape Barren Island. And I've got to say, I was glad to see land when we eventually arrived. Cape Barren is the second biggest island in the Furneaux group. The government handed back the island to the local Aboriginal community in 2005.
Okay, boys.
Now they run the place, and about 70 people call the island home.
So, where are we off to today?
Off to Big Dog Island, Mutton Bird Island. We're going to go down and check out the shed.
Nice.
Aaron Maynard belongs to one of the oldest families in the Furneaux Islands.
Yeah, there's one right here, actually.
He operates a mutton birding shed here on Big Dog Island.
You got one there?
Yep, go on.
Oh, have a look at that. So this is the famous mutton bird.
This is the famous mutton bird, mate.
How many mutton birds do you think are here on the island?
I think the last count on this island, there's about 2 and a bit million.
Wow. How nutritious are they as a meat?
Very. These are absolutely packed with omega-3s.
And how do they taste?
Beautiful, mate.
Because I've heard they're a little bit of an acquired taste.
They are. You either love them or you don't. What do you think,
Oh,
mate?
yeah, that's a good tasting bird. I think I can honestly say I've never tasted anything like that.
Yeah. It's its own, that's for sure.
What's amazed me about life here in the Furneaux Islands is how closely it's tied to the land and the sea. Like the islands themselves, the individuals that choose to call this place home are unforgettable. Despite the stain of the past, the people here are prepared to stay and tough it out to survive in this rugged but achingly beautiful part of Australia.